Hello and welcome to Boomer Live. We are back again and we're going to be talking about football because this week saw the comeback of Manchester United. It was one hell of a game. It was the most anticipated game of the weekend, and boy, didn't it not disappoint the United fans. It was a much needed win for United after two shocking losses to start off their Premier League campaign with. But here we are here to talk about the game in depth. I have Anahat with me. Welcome Anahat on the show. I hope you're doing very good because you're a United fan and you must be pretty ecstatic. First win against Liverpool in 4 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, before the game, I was quite scared, even though Liverpool did play quite a depleted squad. I mean, we were aware that, Darwin Núñez and Jota weren't available. But still, I was pretty scared because the way United started the season, especially against Brentford, they didn't have any work. The work rate was really, really bad. It was the highest deficit between the opponents, in terms of work rate. Like, no one
Yeah.
had such a big difference in work rate with their opposition like United had with Brentford. I mean, they were really, really garbage. I'm sorry to say, but by the 36th minute, they were 4-0 down against Brentford. And all credit to Eric Ten Hag and United because he still benched Ronaldo in the next game as well. He was criticized
Yeah.
a lot for benching him against Brentford, but he stuck to his decision. And he benched Ronaldo again. He chose to go with Rashford instead. With the pace, and it definitely paid off because Rashford got his first goal since I don't know how long it was
Yeah.
against Liverpool that he'd scored in May. Yeah, in May.
In
Uh,
May.
so really, really great result for United, especially the goal for Rashford. Really, really,
I mean,
it'll
let's
do
talk about him
leaps
in
and
depth.
bounds.
Yeah, let's talk about Marcus Rashford because here when we talk about Marcus Rashford, previously as well, someone like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even Jose Mourinho at times had played him at number 9, but there were criticism as to whether can he play as a sole striker for a team. And here, benching Ronaldo, bringing in someone like Marcus Rashford who's absolutely out of confidence in the last 1 year. Maybe post Euros, you just saw a different Rashford. He was not there. People were just criticizing him, and he was not there at all. There were injuries which taunted him as well in that brief period. But here you are playing him there as a true striker, but he did a brilliant job. He just made his work cut out pretty well. He knew what his role clarity was, and he was up against a really decent
Of
defense.
course.
You had a Van Dijk to deal with, and he dealt with him pretty well, didn't he?
Of course. And the goal, if you see, it came after Rashford moved down to the left side. It was Martial who was playing through the center after halftime. And again, great substitutions by Eric Ten Hag. I mean, to get Martial on the 45th minute and then he's giving an assist immediately, as soon as he comes on. I think that's really great management. And even the triple substitutions at the end by Ten Hag, they really, I mean, once Liverpool got the second goal, they were really trying to get the equalizer, and they were dominating the
Yeah.
game, and United were on the back foot. But it was great how the three substitutions really changed the game for United in the end. I mean, they were able to sit it through and keep the ball again,
Absolutely.
as opposed to just defending.
Absolutely. We've been talking about United, but let's come to Liverpool for a brief period because very little surprised looking at the lineup because the lineup which Liverpool put out in the park, we could say they had 9 major injuries in their squad to deal with. But still, the lineup, they had an Naby Keita, they had a Fabinho, but they still went on with Milner there with Harvey Elliott and Henderson, which was quite a surprising lineup, wasn't it? And, James Miller wasn't just there. And also even Van Dijk, for example, he was also not really up there. It was one of those games Van Dijk as a defender would like to forget as well. It's a high pressure game, but
Absolutely.
Van Dijk couldn't just turn up. That first goal where Jadon Sancho, he absolutely had Van Dijk on the floor,
Absolutely.
and he also had James Milner on the floor for a while as well. So, how do you see those changes, and were you a little taken aback with those
I think
changes?
definitely Fabinho. They really, really missed Fabinho. I think there must be some injury because Fabinho is such a great midfielder, and especially his record against United has been fabulous. So I don't know why. I'm sure there must be some injury. I mean, of course, Naby Keita, you can understand not starting. He's not had the best career when he's moved to Liverpool. But Fabinho not starting and James Milner at 37 starting, this a game like this, a game of such importance. And even the bench, if you see Liverpool's bench looked like some second
Yeah,
tier leagues bench,
yeah.
without any of the players, without Nunez, without
Mm,
Jota.
mm,
I mean, they did put up a good fight, Liverpool,
yeah,
despite of the depleted squad. But in the end, you saw Malacia. He did so well against Salah and
Absolutely.
Alexander Arnold. He was completely keeping them quiet throughout the game. I think Trent was able to give maybe two crosses throughout the
Yeah.
game, two or three crosses,
Yeah.
not much. They really contained them really well. Did Malacia. So
Yeah.
that was great. And again, Lisandro Martinez, he took a lot of
I mean, yeah.
criticism in the first two games, a lot of short jokes, everything.
Yeah.
With he's not big enough for the Premier League, he's not strong enough for the Premier League. But he really showed his class there. I mean, he really, really silenced his critics in the way he defended
Yeah.
against a side like Liverpool.
Mm, mm,
Always first to the ball.
mm,
What he lacked for in size, he made up for
yeah.
with his pace and determination. So I think it was great work by Lisandro Martinez.
I mean,
And
let's talk about Lisandro Martinez because when you have seen him with Ajax, technically he's one of the most gifted defenders. He's one of the best ball-playing defenders, centre backs out there. And there were also pundits who had come out stating that he should be playing as a CDM in this Manchester United side, considering that before this week they hadn't signed Casemiro and they had to have someone as a CDM to actually control the game. And he's got the ability. Definitely a very good ball playing defender in that regard. And in this match, he just showed his technical ability to overpower the Liverpool attack, isn't it? And that's something which is inherent in a player who's coming in from Ajax academy or from Ajax who has been well trained by Ten Hag himself. And he just showed his class within the end with alongside Varane because one of the changes which United also had to make was to remove Maguire and play someone like Alessandro Martin alongside Varane. How do you see this duo going ahead? Because as a United fan, I'd really like to know how do you see this duo progressing? Because there's because beyond them they don't have a option, of course, but then at least them as your starting 11 players in the coming games.
yeah, I mean, Harry Maguire, he's shown how bad he can be, on his worst day. He can be really, really bad, Harry Maguire. And even though he's good in the air, I mean, he might be better than Lisandro Martinez in the air. He hasn't really been that effective, with the corners in terms of scoring goals like he was in Leicester. With defense, I mean, defensively, we've seen he's not the fastest. He's not the most, I mean, his positioning as well. I think he was suited to the Leicester lineup who really pushed from the back, but at a
Yeah.
club like United, you have to hold a high line.
But
So I
my
don't think
question is
Maguire is
also,
suited.
Anat, I have like a question to add on to you. Is it right to just blame Harry Maguire in that regard? Because I know United just won a game.
No.
We don't want to be criticizing, but then if you look at it, they did not have a CDM for the longest period of time, right? You do not have a cover shadow for Harry Maguire, and even for England, Harry Maguire actually plays well when you have a cover with the regards of Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice ahead of him, and to drop in between as the five-man defense when it comes to defensive transitions or even attacking progress. When you have a cover ahead of Harry Maguire, he tends to play decently well. And also here, you don't have a ball playing keeper like David De Gea has been criticized in the last couple of games, and also last season he was one of the best players. But in a system like Ten Hag, he's not the best ball playing keeper as well, isn't it?
Definitely not. Right. So, but sometimes you have to make do with what you have, and Harry Maguire hasn't really been that great. I mean, you can definitely make an excuse of not having a good central midfielder in front of you, but a good defender. He can play well in a back four without a diamond midfielder. Holding without a holding midfielder, even an attacking formation. And Harry Maguire hasn't really been able to do that. The errors he's made over the last couple of years have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
Really made him a laughing stock even on social media. So it speaks for itself. Of course, I mean, you feel for him. He's been a scapegoat for Man United now for so long. But I think Lisandro Martinez and Rafa Varane can really make a good partnership. Of course, it's too early to say because they've just had one game together. But I'm sure they'll do better than Harry Maguire.
Absolutely. But as we already spoke about him in brief, let's speak about Casemiro. Huge addition to the squad. We have to cover about it because it's a major transfer. I think it's one of the biggest signings of the transfer window because nobody expected Casemiro to leave Real Madrid and go to Manchester United. It was one of those signings which came out of nowhere. How do you see this move? As a United fan, as a player for Casemiro himself, how is he going to be really reacting to a situation like Premier League? Because Premier League demands a lot out of you. in a club like United, especially at this very point, fans are agitated with whatever is happening off the field with the ownership. Fans demand victories at this point because they are tired of a lot of losses. Though there's a big victory against Liverpool, which is going to give them a lot of morale. But Casemiro is a leader in the group. We have seen that with Real Madrid. Terrific,
Absolutely.
so underrated player for Real Madrid because of Cruz and Modric ahead
Absolutely.
of him. But as a midfielder himself, he's such a good player with the ball as well. Though people call him as a tank and different things,
Definitely.
but you know what he can really bring into the dressing room and also on the field, right?
We've seen him put a couple of tackles in during his day. I mean, he's a really, really great ball playing midfielder. As you rightly said, he makes his defenders feel secure. Really good on the ball as well, borrowing the ball, passing it up to the attacking midfielders, to the wingmen. I think Casemiro is a great signing. Of course, there'll be a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations on Casemiro considering he's had such a big money move and he has so much silverware to his name.
Yeah,
With 5 Champions League, La Ligas, endless trophies, and a very, very decorated career at Real Madrid. So it will be interesting to see. I mean, of course, the expectation will be really high from Casemiro, and we'll have to wait and see how he fits in this Ten Hag side in the Premier League. It'll take some getting used to, but as he said himself, he has that excitement like he's 18 years of age. He said, he has that kind of
yeah.
excitement playing for United, a club like United. It's like a new challenge for him. So yeah, as a United fan, I'm really, really excited for Casemiro, and I can't wait to see him, Varane, and Ronaldo. They have their chemistry.
Yeah.
So those three Madridistas, I can't wait to see them together again
As you mentioned,
in red.
Ronaldo over here, we've got like 4, 5, 7 more days for the transfer window to officially close. Still a lot of speculation on Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is not the kind of players who would like to be benched, right? He's a player of that stature who would like to start every game. He's a leader in himself, and he certainly brings that quality. Even in the game against Brighton, when they were down, he was the only player who was trying to motivate. Even in the game against Brentford, he was the only player who was trying to actually get the team along. Is he a player which Ten Hag sees in the squad, or is it time for Ronaldo to just leave? Maybe it could be a last minute move, or how is it going to be in the last week of the
Well,
transfer window?
now this is a tough one, because Ronaldo. Personally, I don't think Ronaldo has it in him to press the way the young United team was pressing against Liverpool. If you saw the high press and they weren't
Yeah,
allowing Liverpool players to breathe on the ball. When you have Ronaldo up top, you have one less man pressing that hard because Ronaldo always, if you see, he asks his teammates to do the pressing for him. But again, there's something that he brings to the game that is absolutely priceless and absolutely unique because Cristiano Ronaldo on his day he can score a goal from the half line or he can dribble your entire team and score a goal or he can do anything. Cristiano
yeah,
Ronaldo on his day, and he's a great player. He's got great technique. He trains like a beast even now. He's got a jump. I mean, in the air, he's excellent. So I think they'll use him more as a super sub. Of course, there'll be a series of tournaments to be playing. Series of tournaments United are participating in this season. So of course, Ronaldo, you'll see a lot of him maybe off the bench, but I'm sure Ronaldo will definitely score at least 10, 15 goals this season. I mean, even last season at his worst, he scored 24 goals in all competitions. So you know what Ronaldo can do and what an asset he is to have in your lineup. And the
right.
mentality that he brings, the winning mentality, he's won trophies everywhere he's been and he expects a certain kind of standard from his teammates as well, Ronaldo.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
definitely excited to see how Ronaldo will adjust if he stays on. And I really, really hope that he does stay on at United and, maybe win some good trophies. Now they are signing Casemiro. They have signed Casemiro. They're linked with Anthony. They're linked with Gakpo. Again, he's got 25 goal contributions for PSV last season. I mean, excellent,
Yeah,
excellent players linked with United. And Ten Hag, he's so good with Dutch players and the like rating of the Dutch league. So players do want to play under him. So it's all positive now for United. This weekend has really turned the season on its head for United now. They've left Liverpool behind, and
yeah,
though a win for Liverpool could have turned their season on its head, but now
yeah,
Liverpool find themselves in deep trouble. No one linked with no one as of now in the transfer
yeah.
window. They'll have to make some moves, I guess. Liverpool,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
yeah, good
as
news
you
for Man
mentioned,
United.
Liverpool's depth is a concern for them, right? Because you can say 9 players are injured that can really deplete any squad in the world. But
Absolutely.
you consider that, if you look at their bench, it's not as big a quality as you talk about the starting 11. Liverpool are over reliant on their starting 11, which is very evident because the moment you have three or four of your starting 11 players gone, that then the team is searching for a lot of answers, and that's exactly what happened against Manchester United, and that's exactly what happened 2 seasons ago as well when they just managed to qualify for the Champions League on the last day of the Premier League as well. Now going ahead, Liverpool, no victories in 3 games. One of the possibly one of the worst starts they could have ever asked for in this season. Darwin Nunes was a positive. He's been doing well, and his moment of actually headless game really costed them even against Crystal Palace. Luis Diaz is there. Darwin Nunes and Luis Diaz has been brilliant for them so far since their signing, but they
I
are
think
missing the
Luis
big
Diaz
man.
had a really good game. Yeah, no, definitely. I think Luis Diaz had a really good game even against United. I think he was the man who was, looking quite threatening up ahead. I think Salah was contained again. I'll say it again. What a fine young lad, Tyrell Malacia. What a game he had
Yeah,
against Liverpool. I
yeah,
mean, really, really always there between Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold, always making those challenges. And Liverpool, you've seen them; they're so threatening on that right hand side. Ever since Mane has left, they've been over reliant as well on that right hand side with TA putting in those diagonals,
yeah,
more of
yeah,
them. Yeah, but even on the other side, I think Diego Dalot really contained well. Luis Diaz, I mean, you saw there, Tassili got booked
yeah,
for that foul on Luis Diaz. But
yeah,
even after getting booked, I think Dalot did really well until Van Bissaka came on finally. I think he contained Robertson really well. No crosses coming in from Robertson as well, successful ones.
yeah,
So yeah, overall, I think United played really, really well. They showed great character. Even after being 2 goals up, I mean, they didn't let go of the game, and even after conceding that goal, I think they came back and they weren't like defending till the last minute. If you see that they had the ball and they were trying to make things happen. So yeah,
yeah,
good turnaround for Ten Hag after losing 2 of his first matches,
yeah.
and I think yeah, it's the way forward. I mean, he looks like a serious manager, Eric Ten Hag.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean, that beating against Brentford has really got on to him, and he's a manager who's coming with a lot of reputation as well, isn't it? There's a reason why he's appointed into the United team. There's a philosophy which he brings. There's a certain bit of character which he brings as well, and alongside that, there's a lot of expectation which he has to manage as well. Because United is a tough club to manage, and that's why you give credit to Sir Alex Ferguson time and time again, and it's also that Sir Alex Ferguson's reputation, right? The standard which he has set is so
Absolutely.
high that
I
none of the
mean,
managers are able to achieve it.
more than the hype and the haircut, I think it's if he starts managing like Pep Guardiola, it'll be much better for Man United than just the
Absolutely.
hype and the haircut.
And actually, we will be coming with a Premier League, review of this game weekend, because we have to talk about Newcastle's game against City. We have to talk about Arsenal and Tottenham. The two North Londoners are really on the up. Are we going to expect a new champion or not? We don't. You never know, because Premier League is
Too
really.
soon
If
to
you look
say.
at the table, yeah,
No,
and
definitely. I think Gabriel Jesus, he's fit into the Arsenal side really well.
yeah,
Really, really well. I mean, scored goals, assisting goals. I think he's
yeah,
doing great. Gabriel Jesus, all the signings, Martin Odegaard, since
absolutely,
confirming his
absolutely,
stay to Arsenal, has been fabulous.
absolutely.
Arsenal have had a great start on, in contrast to the start they had last season. They
Yes,
lost the first 3 games, and now
yes,
after a long time they've won all their 3 games in a row. So
yeah.
so great optimism from Arsenal. Chelsea again, they had a sad game against Leeds.
Well,
Very
yeah,
surprising how Koulibaly made those 2 rash tackles. He thinks he's still in the Serie A. Maybe he needs to get used to the Premier League,
yeah,
because
yeah.
that is definitely not
I
done
mean, it's
in the
like
Premier
being
League.
from being a hero to zero, right? He had a great game against Tottenham, and then he has a bad game against Leeds United. But if you look at the table right now, you'll be really shocked, because it's just beyond anybody's expectation. It was nobody predicted this kind of a table so far. But as you know, Premier League, you're not even you're not even 0.1% into the league. You've got a long
What
way
about
to
you,
go.
Abel? What do you think about Erling Haaland's start to the season?
Well, it's been mixed. I mean, he's still not there. He had a very good game against West Ham. Let's accept it. But then
I think, yeah.
there were games where he was just totally not there as well. He had a decent game against Newcastle, but maybe City are playing so much for Erling Haaland than City themselves. That's where I'm a little worried about. Because City should be themselves without really caring for one particular player. When they play around a player, that's so unlike
They
City.
were kind of over elaborating their passes, like De Bruyne always trying to look for Haaland. And
Yeah,
but the way he takes the ball in his stride on his day, I think if that ball works out, Haaland can score hat tricks.
Yeah,
because he's so good in those situations. I mean, taking the ball in his stride and getting one-on-one with the keeper. I think
yeah,
he could easily have had his second goal against
yeah.
Newcastle. Then it would have been a completely
I
different
mean,
story. But
Newcastle are a serious team as well. I
they
mean, we'll
played
be talking
really,
about this.
really well.
I think we need a really
Outstanding.
big live for this. Maybe we'll end the live right here because it was a good discussion on United and Liverpool because that was our focus, and we're able to drive a lot of conclusions and we were able to talk about many players. Let's hope by the end of the next game week we'll see a lot more changes in the table, and we see United on the up. We hopefully see Liverpool getting off the mark in terms of win at least, and the small teams, they keep surprising. Brighton, Brentford, Leeds, they're on the up, man. This season has been just a crazy one to start off with. Thank you, Anahat. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. Do not forget to play all these fantasy matches on Boomer 11 because it's absolutely free of cost to play. I know if you had played Liverpool United, you had chance to win two dinners, you know a table for two. I hope the winner has been there, and we already have a winner, that's for sure. But
Right. And
it's more
also
of
the
the
Asia
excitement.
Cup on Sunday, we've got India versus Pakistan. So really, really
Yeah,
looking forward to that.
already.
I mean, the
Goosebumps
prizes
already.
are
It's a
really
big,
off the
big
hook
match.
on the Boomer 11 app. I mean, you've got
Yeah,
Jabra speakers, you've got Jumbo Electronics in Dubai. I mean, you've got Rebel
yeah,
Foods vouchers. I mean, for one game, you have like really, really big, big prizes for the
yeah,
India Pakistan game. And I mean, India Pakistan are playing after such a long time. It's going to be really, really exciting to see. So I, for one, can't wait to watch the game and have my team. At least I'll make 5 6 teams. I think on the
yeah,
Boomer 11 app. Maybe I'll win
yeah.
something. But
Absolutely, absolutely. I
definitely,
agree.
really excited for the game.
Major game last time around. You saw what happened with these two oppositions, where India were bulldozed by Pakistan. But let's hope this time around, it's going to be a very good game of cricket. We'll be talking about it. We are coming with the Asia Cup preview maybe in 3 hours time from now. So guys, join in for that. And tomorrow, from today onwards, every day we're going to be coming live with you with Asia Cup football, a lot more action, and Champions League is starting very soon as well. So brace yourself. It's an exciting sporting year ahead because World Cup, Champions League, Cricket World Cup. Man, it's just crazy. And that's why you win a lot of prizes with Boomer 11. That's your app to go to for. Thank you guys. Have a good day.